Hi everyone, it's Wendy. Welcome back to the channel. And today I wanted to start a little series, if you will, of just kind of making a journal together that's going to be a little bit of a different sort of journal than what I generally make. I mean, the construction of the cover and whatnot are the same, but I've done an example of what I want us to make together. And this is an antiquarian book cover. And then I've put in the fabric spine on either side. Now I'll link the video on how to do that. Very easy to do. And then what I want to do is I want to use some of my Tim Holtz cardstock. And I want to use up, I have a lot of Tim Holtz little tidbits, if you will, from ideology that I've collected over the years, and I just haven't used them as much as I'd like to. So I'm really inspired by the last Tim Holtz video where he launched his new ideology. And I thought, you know, before I purchase any new stuff, I should really use up some of this wonderful stuff that I have. So I want to use some of the metal bits. I want to use washi. I want to use some of the ephemera that I have from that is Tim Holtz. I'm not saying this is exclusively going to be Tim Holtz stuff, but I do want to play with what I have. So I've done a 3-signature booklet or book, and I've got, this is Tim Holtz cardstock, this is as well. So I've just put 2 pieces together because I'm going to heavily embellish them, and I don't want it. I've got a 1/2 inch here. I want lots of space so that if this does have you know, something that has some girth or height to it, you know, like a metal piece or whatnot, that I've got room for it. So I've got 2 pieces together. I've already put a little clip there, and I think I'm going to use this as a tuck, but I don't know yet. And then on the back of that, I made an envelope, or I meant for it to be a tuck from the top, and it ended up being a little bit too long this way, so I cut this side. But that might work out to our benefit because we may put like a flip here and we'll be able to glue it to the inside and then glue that closed. So I basically have created a base for us to decorate. And then this is the second one, also Tim Holtz paper. And then here I've done an envelope, but or not an envelope. Well, no, I guess it is an envelope, but I want the pocket on this side for some reason, and then I covered the back of that with Tim Holtz fabric that I have. And then this is some Tim Holtz paper. I've just put a clip there. This is a 12 by 12 paper, and I think this was correspondence. Hard to find it anymore. And then so this is a journal signature at the back. So I've got, it's all papers. I haven't got any digitals in this signature. Lots of really beautiful papers so that we can do some playing. So we're going to end up with 2 of these actually by the time we're through, because I'm going to show you how I put all of these elements together in another journal. So we'll have 2 that we can decorate. I'll decorate one on film. We'll do it together, and the other one we may or may not. So this is my other journal cover that I've done. Absolutely love it. This has got some beautiful ticking fabric from Vernie at Triple B Vintage. Hi, Vernie. Thank you. I've made sure on both that the space here, the spine, is 2 inches, just a little over 2 inches. This one I didn't glue down all of the edges because I'm not liking the yellow, and so I will put something else here. This one I really liked the color, so I'm going to keep that as is. So we've got that. So when you're doing your construction, just remember, use an old book cover. Pardon me if you have it. These are 7 inches tall. This one's a little wider. I think it's 4.5, and this one's 4 1/4. You can make yours any size you want. Just adjust the size of the elements that you're going to put in it to reflect the size that you have. So yeah, and if you don't have a book, don't worry about it. You could use chipboard. You could have chipboard from the back of a tablet, like a writing tablet, or if you have watercolor paper, the back cover is always a pad of paper. So actually, I think that's the front. So it doesn't really matter, does it? But I think we'll use that as the back. I like this as the front. I think this is going to be really fun for Tim Holtz stuff. Really love it. Okay, let's get started. I've already pre-cut some pieces of cardstock to make sure that this is going to fit. So what I've done is I tried to make the cardstock, I think it's 6 3/4 for these, and I like to measure, I don't want the front of my signature to be any wider than this part of the book. So that's a good measure. You see Rachel doing that on Roxy Creations a lot, and there's another one, and these are both from Tim Holtz. And then I have a couple of pieces of paper, cardstock. This is for one of the signatures. And again, you can see that's going to fit there nicely. Love that paper. And we'll do this one as well. Now, do we want the brown or do we want, we'll have the brown on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this. If you're doing 3 signatures, you can just do this like I'm doing. If you're doing less, then, you know, you could put more in your signature than 2 folded pages. I like to have the 2 folded pages mostly because, like I said earlier, I do not want this getting too thick. So I don't know how I'm going to embellish it yet, other than I've got all this wonderful stuff to work with. So each one of these that are folded like that is going to be the center of 2 of the early signatures, and then we'll make the book in a little bit. So these are going to be the front of a second of each of those signatures. So I want to fold, I used coffee dyed paper because it makes it nice and strong. I want to fold this to make a nice envelope. So I'm going to fold this down like that. And I like to measure it this way. I have a little bit of a measure here on my board. And I don't want it to be more than 7.5. So that just gives me a little more structure at the top. Or not 7.5, 6 3/4. So if I go this way, I'm going to get in and around 6 3/4. And that's the height of my paper, like that. And I'm not going to need all of that. Might as well cut it off. So I'm just going to cut it to a height that I think I'm going to need. Like that. So I'm saving all the scrap bits because I will be using them, I'm sure, elsewhere in this. That didn't fold up very straight, did it? Elsewhere in this, these books. So fold that to the side, like that. And I can see where it's not even, I can go back and fix it. Like that. So this is going to be one of the envelopes. And that's too high. I guess maybe I did have it correct. Oh, I know why it was off. It was because I cut it crooked when I cut the extra off. So that is going to be the envelope on the back of this. And it's going to be a top-down one. So I'm just going to do some trimming, and then we can do some gluing. I would have shown you how to do the inserts or how to put the whole book together, but then I have to wait for time for it to dry, and so that can get a little bit difficult. I'm not someone who's gifted at editing videos, as you can tell by my videos. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna put my pin up here. So I hope you guys are all well. I hope this is going to be too long a video for you. But I thought this would be just really fun, and I was doing it anyway, and I thought, well, maybe you guys would like to play along as well. So I wanted to tell you as well, it's because we're getting into summertime. I won't be making videos as frequently. It won't be one a week. It's probably going to be one every 2 weeks when we get right into summer. Right now it might be one every 10 days or so, but we'll see. So that's going to be my envelope, like that. Worked out perfectly. What I want to do is, the other one I attached by paper, but I think I'm going to, with this one, I've got some Tim Holtz fabric here. I think I want to just do it with, cut a little sliver of fabric and hinge it that way. So, there we go. So I hope some of you are going to join me in this adventure. I think it'll be fun. Now, let's see. Okay, you can cut it off here. Thereabouts. Straighten that up. So that's not quite an inch wide. Just want to make sure the opening is in the right spot. It is. So I'm just using art glitter glue. Art glitter glue is really good at attaching sealing fabric. So I use that a fair amount in these sorts of things. Okay, put that on there first. And then we'll look at leaving a little tiny, you can see like maybe a 1/16 of an inch there. And then I'm just going to put some glue down here. Fold it over. Take that little piece of thread off. There we go. We can trim this a little bit. Okay, so that's the first page of our first little signature. And then the second page, I think I'm going to put this one with the blue in here. So there's just going to be the 2 pages in the first signature. How easy was that? Super easy. Okay, the next part is we want to make an envelope with a side opening. So I'm going to do this on 1 inch, and then I want to, there's probably better ways to do this, but I'm going to fold that to, I'm measuring for, I'm going to try and measure for 4 inches or a little bit less. A little bit less than 4. Was a little more than 4. I think that's a little less than 4. Yeah, that's 4 inches. Perfect. So that's 4 inches. What I'm trying to achieve here is that I know I want both sides to be folded under a little bit so that I have a nice edge, nice strong edge. So just fold this. Looks a little crooked. I'm not going to worry about it being a little crooked. Okay. So that's the width of my envelope for the back of the second signature. Like that. Just want to double check. Yep, that's good. And so I want to fold it up on either end to make the little gussets. And then this has to be, I want it 6 3/4. So I'm just folding that down like that. fold that in to make it 6 3/4. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is, I don't need, I'm going to cut this. I don't need both sides, so I'm going to cut it up here like that. And then we're going to do the same over here, but we're going to leave these two little sides because those are the sides of the gussets of our envelope. Having a hard time seeing where I folded. Okay. And then I'm going to fold there. I guess I should have just done it this way. And fold that there. Okay. Now the garbage is just under my bin, just under here. So I want to, I guess I didn't have to cut that part, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Like that. And like this. So I just want to fold this in. Like that. Fold that one in. Like that. And then we're going to fold those and bring this up. So it's got a little funky little edge there. That's me getting a little slap happy with my gluing, but that's okay. It's still going to be fine because the gusset's right behind it. So that's going to give it lots of strength. All right. And then just wipe off those bits of glue. So that is the side envelope. And I think I want to put this on the outside. This is the first one, so I don't mind those being seen together. Okay. And I want to, I think, cover one side with fabric. So I think I'll cover this side. Do we want to use the same fabric? Or do we want to use something a little different? What is the fabric? This is the fabric, or the pattern I've chosen for the first of the signature for the little journal portion. So let's choose something that goes nicely with that. I think this does. So this is also Tim Holtz fabric. I've had this for a long, long time. Okay, so what I want to do to make sure that the edge is straight, I'm just going to rip it. Pardon me for those who don't like this sound. I'm going to rip that. And I'm just going to rip a little bit at the bottom as well, just to make sure that is also straight. I'm going to try and rip at the bottom. There we go. I'll save those bits because they make really good tag ties. And then I'm going to put this up here. And I'm going to cut it so that I get a little extra piece of fabric to use as my hinge on the cover of that last signature, the middle signature. So I'm just going to cut it here like that. I'm going to rip this up, and where this is cut, I'll rip this. Okay, we'll move that out of the way. And then we'll put that on the envelope. Okay, I like it. And then, of course, we'll put something that coordinates on the inside of each of the insides of covers. So I'm just going to put some glue here. I hope I'm not shaking you too much. Okay. And I'm just going to bring that to the edge. Wipe it down. And then I'm going to add some more glue. Just like this. And if you don't have Tim Holtz bits, you know, there's lots of folks who do ephemera that you can buy online. There are wonderful digitals, and I would definitely use digitals, and that's typically what I do use when I'm making things. But because I have so many Tim Holtz things, I feel like I need to, I really want to use them. So this is going to come on the front. And again, can you see I'm just coming off a little bit so that there's going to be a little bit of a natural hinge there. I probably am gluing too far over, but it is all good. I'm excited to see how these turn out. I'm sure that they'll, even though their construction is going to be the same or very similar, they're going to be quite different by the time they're done. So there's the outside. I love that. And then there's the pocket. So this one's going to have, we decided this beautiful one with the map. Love it. And I'm kind of centering those. That is great. So there'd be that. This will be the first. This will be the second signature. And then we'll do the third signature. I'm just going to double check the time to make sure we're doing okay. Okay, we're good. Like I said, this is going to be a bit longer a video, but I hope you're going to find it useful. Okay, and there's a reason I made this 2 inches. I want each signature to be ½ an inch apart. So ½ an inch in from the spine on either side, 1, 2, 3. And that measurement gets us to where we need to be. Love it. And like I said, that yellow, not doing it for me. So this is what I chose. Those are going to look good together. Remember, I'm going to be decorating these. Even the bits that are folded might turn out a little bit differently. So I folded this, I cut this to 8 inches, and then I folded it up and cut it so that it was a nice size pocket. I think it's a 2 1/4 inch pocket. I am going to just cut a little, it's hard to see, a little divot here so that these pocket bits are going to lay flat. Okay, perfect. And this is going to be the outside of our last signature. And of course, this is going to be very embellished as well. So I've chosen some papers. I've made sure that they've been cut to the right height, which is 6 3/4. These are images from the Field Book of American Wildflowers, which I love. So I've got those. I've got a piece of music that I have already folded up, and all of this is just because of timing. I think I'll just fold that back. Just want to make sure I'm not going beyond the width of what we want. Let's see. Those are going to be perfect. So that's the width that we want. If I fold that in half, that's going to be fine. So it's just a little bit of old ruled paper. Some old business paper. This one, is it too wide? Might be. We'll see. It might be okay. If I put it early enough in the journal, it should be okay. So yeah, these are the same types of papers as I have in the last one. It just made it a little bit easier. I'm going to fold that back quite a bit. I love seeing those dots. This is from a dollar store book. They're still good. This is some amazing straw paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations. I'm going to just go like that, fold back. This is going to give us lots of writing space somewhere in the little journal. And then this is some of my coffee stain paper. So I'm going to fold it there and there, and we'll put one back here. Okay, so these are plain papers. Set those to the side. These are papers that have writing on them. And that's, I consider that a plain paper. So I want to have something, I'm going to put this here because it's nice and gives you white space, place for your eye to rest. So we'll set that one there. The images in that book are amazing. There's only a few of these colored pages, but just amazing. We'll set this here, I think. This one there. Put the music page there. Put this nice ruled paper. How about that one? There. This one. That one. And set this at the back. So how does that look? A few little bits hanging out, but it might be fine. It might be fine. And if it isn't, I can trim it after it's been in the book. It looks like it's a little bit long in a couple of spots. So I think what I'm going to do is just pull those pages out. Got my cutter right here. I'm just going to trim it. There we go. Sorry about how loud that was. So hopefully that will do the trick. I don't think I cut any ends, any folds off. Okay, so that's our third and final signature. Right. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Perfect. All right. So here's my little binding kit. So what I do is I make a template, and this is nice hard cardstock, and this is from Recollections. And make sure I have where I want it. So what I do is I make it, this is 2 inches wide, so I made it about 1 inch and 7/8 wide, so that it would fit in here nicely. And so it's easy to crit it. You can see here, I set it in between the two inches on my board, and I marked 3 spots that are 1/2 inch, and that gives me a 1/2 inch on either side. That's going to give me the ease I need, the space I need to be able to embellish fairly heavily on those first couple of signatures, if we want to. I think we want to. So what I do is I make this the height of my pages, which is 6 3/4. So I'm just trying to center it in this spine, and then I take my pen, I take a whole, my pokey tool, and I put a hole in it so that now I know where to poke it again. I find for me, it's the simplest way to do it. Now I've got this little kit. This is a beautiful pencil case made for me by Kate at the Journal Shed. Hi, Kate. So then I take my pokey tool, and making sure that my fingers are clear, I poke it through each of these holes. And because this is a shorter journal, I'm only doing 3-hole pamphlet stitch. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's grab our signatures that we've done already. And this is the first. I'm going to grab my little scissors. This is the thread I want to use. And then I'm going to just grab some of these big paper clips. Love the big paper clip. It's, for me, one of my favorite tools for holding paper down when I'm about to sew it in. So I only put mine on the bottom because that is a signal to me that this is the top. And so I always put a T on here on my templates, and I keep all my templates because you never know when you're going to make something exactly the same size. And I just go like that and make a hole in the crease so I know where to put the holes. So this is the first one. I am going to sew in. I sew from the front signature. Most people do not. I cannot tell you why I do it that way, other than for some reason. It's the way I've always done it, and it makes me happy. So I continue to do it that way. So we'll take that from the back. The hard part is seeing where I already have a hole. Where are you, hole? Sometimes you can't see, so I just put my pokey tool through. Again, there it is. I hope I'm not off camera, guys. There we go. And it's a fairly short thread, but I think I can make it work. Through here, and then through this last hole. Like that. Pull it tight. There we go. Coming through, making sure you don't catch any of the threads, because that will make it hard to tighten. And I just pull real tight, hold it. It's good. And we will tie it from there. Like so. And I find that these kits from Amazon with the book thread, I just look for a book binding kit on Amazon. I find they're the best. They really work well, and that's a good spot for this. Okay, good. And now I'm going to pick this. Now the reason the inside is shorter is because I was using backdrops, Tim Holtz backdrops, not scrapbook paper, and it's only 6 inches wide. So I like the diversity of size, but that wasn't why I chose to make it a little bit smaller. It was about using what you have, being resourceful with that. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I apologize for the fact that there'll be fewer videos. It's just a reflection of what the life is like in the summer for me. We have a number of commitments, and we travel, and we have family visiting that I'm very excited about, that we'll be visiting. So yeah. So I go like that, and I figure that's about 1 and that's about 2. There's no science to it. I think it's because I've done so many journals that I have a sense of how much thread I need. Well, we'll see. And then I come to the second one, go through. And go back through the hole. that. I think I've got lots of thread here, don't I? And then in through here. I always grab that tail, and then I pull the tail towards me and put the needle in. And it usually, sometimes like the last time, it went exactly where it was supposed to go. I didn't even have to coax it. That's always great when that happens. So take this, go like that, good, and tie a knot both ways. And cut. Okay, so now I take out 3 of these because I only need the one next to the last signature I'm putting in to see if I'm in the right spot. So this is the bottom, correct? And I'm just going to put this on. Apologies for the shadows, guys. It's feels like it's going to rain here today, so it's a little bit a bit dark, as my grandson Will, who's 2.5, would say. It's a bit dark. So I'll just put that through there, through there, through there. Okay. Grab our thread. And I hope this isn't too long for you guys. But I wanted to show you how easy it is, or how quickly you can pull together, you know, this little book, this little project. I think we're going to take our time with decorating some of the things that we're going to do, and it's really going to depend on what resources you have as well, how you decorate. So just have that come through, put it on the other side of the center there. Okay. I can tell that it's nice and tight. There we go. Part of that goes there. Put that in a little container. And, oh, I think that, does that one go? That one does go in there too. Got to keep it together because, you know, it's nothing worse than reaching for it and not knowing where it is. Very frustrating. Okay, so I'll take and fold these pages over. Every page or two, if it's a thick page. Just one at a time, or every page or two. So pretty. And then I'll do it this way as well. Oh, that was an extra page. I do have the right number, just I hadn't pulled some of them apart. So there you go. Beautiful lady slipper plant. All right. So this is the little booklet we've put together so far. Super cute. Love the exterior. And so we've got one just like the other book, And then we've got a top loading pocket here. It's got lots of spots to decorate. This one here, and a side loading pocket. And then we've got our journal. With the same type of papers. They're different papers, but from the same books in the little journal. So very fun and fast, and I am so excited to get started. Maybe we'll do the end bits in the next video just before we start. We'll start decorating as well. So these are the two that we'll be playing with. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to do this with you. And if you stuck with me for 41 minutes, my goodness, guys, I really, really appreciate it. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, I'm getting messages from YouTube and my stats that a lot of my watchers aren't actually, or viewers aren't actually subscribed. I'd love for you to subscribe. Just helps the channel a little bit. And please check, because I understand YouTube has been unsubscribing. There's something in the algorithm. So please check and see if you are still subscribed. I noted that I had been unsubscribed from many of the people I had been following. So it's all good. So looking forward to playing some more with these with all of you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.